Out here on the night shift, just me, the road, and another $100,000 in the bank. Trucking pays if you know how to haul it. Numbers don't lie, and neither does the asphalt when it's this empty.
Boy, I tell you, drivers, but your new drivers don't want to listen. Hold on right quick. Let me get something to drink. I'm about to drink on some mango, some Celsius. Hold on. Picked some up today. All right, we about to get straight to the point on this. Listen, social media be lying to you drivers. TikTok clips are pushing numbers. They're pushing pay. They're pushing company labels without no context at all. New CDL holders, you guys are walking into trucking expecting top pay on the first day? See, TikTok got you guys twisted. See, it's not how this industry works, drivers. And pretending otherwise hurts you bad in the long run. Let's talk about it.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
TikTok is full of truckers' opinions. Their opinions is not really based on fact. Maybe based on their fact, but not based on fact that you might know when you get into it. These viral trucking videos that's going viral on TikTok right now, all those videos are on one person's experience. They're told loud and they're told short with no background, no timeline, and no receipts to back it up. A driver has a bad week, and then all of a sudden, that whole company is trash. And when they come on and talk about that company, that's reckless advice for somebody that's trying to get into the industry. See, labeling the carrier as the worst carrier ignores one key fact, new driver. One of those companies has to train new drivers. They have to give a new driver an opportunity. See, companies like Swift, Snyder National, Warner Enterprise, and CRST International. Listen, those companies aren't perfect, not by a long shot, but those are the companies that gives the first chances to new CDL holders. See, calling them bad without context on social media is kind of misleading, right? Especially to somebody who haven't even backed into a dock yet. See, new drivers must learn to separate online garbage from verified experience. If someone hasn't trained you, paid you, or even dispatched you, all right, drivers, so listen, a new CDL holder is licensed, right? But that doesn't mean they are experienced. Earlier on in their career, drivers don't know shippers, receivers, terrains, weather, lanes, or even truck stop politics at this point. That knowledge comes from time and not confidence. Now, I guess you can have a little bit of confidence in your skills when you get into the truck, but if you're brand new, everything comes with time. A lot of you new drivers that's coming straight out of school, expecting top of the mountain pay right off the rip, is so unrealistic right now. And any video on TikTok that's pushing that idea, they ain't doing nothing but selling you hype. Chasing pay too early leads to job hopping. Job hopping leads to shadow experience. Shadow experience leads to a whole bunch of closed doors. Early career focus should be on one thing and one thing only, and that is skill building, backing, time management, safety communications. It's not a flex. That's all the stuff you need to learn in the first 6 months, 7 months to the first year maybe 2 years. See, you don't skip steps in trucking. You earned them. And listen, drivers, now I'm going to tell you, training quality matters a lot when you're here in trucking. You're going to come out of school. You're going to get with a carrier that's going to give you the opportunity. They're going to put you in a truck. They're going to put you with a trainer for a while. Now, I know some companies have strict training regiments, like Prime, for example. Snyder is another company that has a strict training regiment. But some companies out here, they are cutting corners by putting you with trainers that only got 6 months or less than a year of experience. And listen, and that to me, driver, that is not training. That is the blind leading the blind.
Hold on.
I only got 6 months experience. I do this for the money. I sleep in the bunk while he drives. I get bored watching him drive.
See, trainers should have road wisdom, not just a clean CDL. 1 or 2 years minimum behind the wheel. Now listen, bad trainers exist. A lot of them. So much so that it don't get talked about as much. And yes, drivers, it is frustrating. But even imperfect training, that still builds some miles behind you. Those miles turns into experience. Experience turns into leverage. Patient early saves a lot of pain later. Now, let's talk real numbers here, drivers, because a lot of these new drivers think that when they get into trucking, they're going to be making all this buku money. Now, listen, trucking will change your life. It's no doubt about it. You're going to be making money that you're not even used to making, especially if you came from Burger King or warehouse or anything of that matter. You're going to start making a little bit of money that you're not even used to. But let me explain to you, because TikTok is not going to tell you this. Mainstream carriers today average only about 60 to 65 cents per mile. And that's for people with experience. Now, being that you're coming in brand new, you might not get that. You probably might get anywhere between 45 to maybe 50 cents. And when you're out with a trainer, it's going to be much, much less. And just to let you know, that's the market. That's the going rate. See, higher pay usually comes from black op companies or specialized freight operations. Those jobs want experience first. Okay, I'm just letting you know. Maybe not the black ops companies, because they love new drivers like you and they'll just throw you in with the wolves. But see, without the experience, without the knowledge, and you get out there and you start driving and you start tearing things up, you got to understand that's going to go on you, driver. It's going to go on your record, driver, and it's going to follow you to any other company that you might want to go to. And now you can't go to that company because of what the black ops company did to you. Now, listen, earlier on in my career, I ran for U.S. Express, not because it paid the most. I mean, I got like garbage. I think my average pay a week was like $750. And that was before taxes. After taxes, it was a lot less than that. But I didn't do it for the pay, though. I did it for the experience. That's what me coming out there, getting with U.S. Express, that's what that paid for, the experience. Now, I would suggest that if you hadn't done it already, make sure you get your endorsements. Hazmat, doubles or triples, tankers, all of that, right? Because that right there will expand your options and it will give you more opportunities out there, especially when you get the experience. Now, for me, I'm working on my hazmat. I talked to a couple of guys in the background and they told me, hey, go ahead and at least try it. I mean, I know a few people that went and got their hazmat, but unfortunate for them, they're not utilizing their hazmat like they're supposed to. Now, for me, when I get my hazmat, I'm going to turn around and look for training companies because I won't know nothing about hazmat. I mean, I know a little bit about it from what I seen, from what I read, from what I heard, but I am actually going to need a company to actually train me. So before I actually get my hazmat, maybe about a month to 2 months prior, I'm going to start looking into companies that will start training me for that. So about time I get my hazmat, I will be able to call them companies back and say, hey, let's go. I'm ready. And that's what you should do, especially if you have your CDL already and you don't have your hazmat and you're interested in getting your hazmat. I would suggest that you start by looking for trainer companies that will help you along the way to understand what the hazmat is all about. Because driving hazmat, I'm telling you, that is a different kind of beast right there. A lot of lanes you can't go through, a lot of cities you can't go through, tunnels you can't go through. You got to understand that with a hazmat, it's not GPS friendly. And a lot of these guys out here be using the GPS like it's God. And if you have hazmat and you don't understand which route you're supposed to actually go when you have hazmat, you're going to end up in the serious situations like fines, traffic situations. Finally get your hazmat. Again, like I said, hazmat is not GPS friendly. So you can't just up and follow the GPS when you have a hazmat load. Now, drivers, even with hazmat, even with doubles and triples, even with the tanker, none of that works without time behind the wheel, right? You're going to need that experience. And I keep coming around to that word, experience. That's what you're going to need. That's what you're going to have to strive for. It's not about the pay. The pay will eventually come. Experience is what you need to work on now. Experience first, compensation later. So drivers, here's the real path. Start with a carrier that will hire you, that will give you the opportunity. Learn how trucking actually works. Stay put long enough to build credibility. 2 years is a solid target. That's what it has done for me. Now, maybe you might need a few more years. Maybe you might just need 1 year. But for me, my target goal for to get some good experience and to know a little bit more of what I'm doing out here, it was 2 years at U.S. Express. Those years is what you're going to need to get your experience in. You need a foundation, drivers. Use early jobs as stepping stones and not destinations. See, chasing 50 cents more per mile every 3 months won't build a solid experience or a career for that matter. See, stability makes you valuable, drivers. Experience makes you selectable. And once you have the miles, clean records, endorsements, trust me, the money will open up. And that's when the pay improves naturally. So listen, stop watching these TikTokers. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 10. Early pay does not define your career. Growth does. Trust the process, driver. Learn the job. Stack the experience. See, if social media makes trucking sound easy and fast money, then brother, that is a red flag. See, real success in this industry is not built on hype. So what I want you to do, new driver, is focus on the growth, ignore the noise. Just know that your time is coming.